Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into my official NFL week number one picks and predictions for the 2025 season, where I go through every single game and give my score prediction, beginning with the first game of the 2025 NFL season. It is the Thursday night 8:20 game. The Dallas Cowboys, who just traded away Micah Parsons, traveling to Philadelphia. High energy in that stadium. The Eagles coming off their Super Bowl victory. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley going up against Dak Prescott. And now the Dallas Cowboys do also have George Pickens. We will have to see, but a lot of people concerned with the Cowboys possibly punting on the season, or at least really not having a lot of confidence in their team, trading away Parsons for a few first round picks. The line has been juiced to 8.5. I know a lot of people got this number at 6.5. You could argue at 8.5 for an in division week one game, there is significant value on the Cowboys. Dak Prescott is still a good quarterback, but I will be going with the Eagles to win this game and also covering the spread 31-20, kind of a higher scoring game. I'll tell you, with these NFL games nowadays, they just all seem to be in the mid to low 20s. Like, all my predictions for these games are likely going to be in the low 20s just because that's the way it is. But in this game, I'm giving the Eagles 31 points. They win by 11. Although you could argue there is some value on Dallas because it is an in-division week one game, and Dallas does have a competent offense, although trading away Micah Parsons does signal that this year may not go the best for them. I guess we'll have to see. This is a Friday night game, so they've got this Brazil game now, which I just don't see the need for it outside of the NFL wanting to make more money. It just doesn't make sense to me. But it's another neutral site game, and it is going to be Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs facing Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers. The Chiefs sitting -3.5 in this one. I will be going with the Chiefs to win this game 25-20. Mahomes has kind of had a weird last 2 years. It's very strange for a quarterback of his caliber to be in the prime of his career and struggle as much as he has, at least on the stat sheet, the past 2 years. They've certainly won a lot of games, a lot of very close games, but I do think the Chiefs, at this time, with some question marks surrounding the Chargers last year, some issues on offense, the run game. I know they drafted a young running back in the second round. Hampton, we'll have to see. But I will be taking the Chiefs to win this game and covering a 3.5 point spread, just barely. Kind of a weird score there, 25-20. Moving on to the 1 o'clock slate, it is the Buccaneers traveling to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. The NFC South, the terrible, terrible division that it is. Tampa Bay sitting -2.5, given a 54% chance to win. Really don't have a good gauge on this game, but it does feel like a game that Tampa Bay would win. I've got them walking away with a victory. Although I could see this either way, honestly. You could argue there's good value on Atlanta plus the 2.5. But Baker Mayfield, the last 2 years with the Bucs, has been very good. Going up against a young team, I'll take Tampa on the road 24-21. Emeka Ibuka, good young receiver. A lot of people talking about him. First round pick. I've got the Bucs winning that game. Moving on to another 1 o'clock game. It is the battle for Ohio, Cincinnati traveling to Cleveland. Joe Burrow, notoriously terrible in Cleveland. Cincinnati -5.5 in this one. I do like the Browns to cover, but I'll go with Cincinnati to win outright 20-17. Lower scoring game. The Browns, I'm not going to say they're underrated, but with Flacco, I do think they're a little bit better than people are giving them credit for. I'm guessing they'll probably switch to either Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders later in the season. That's when the team's probably really going to tail off. But at the start of the year with Myles Garrett, top 5 overall pick, the defensive tackle Mason Graham, I mean, it's a formidable defense. And we know Joe Burrow has struggled in Cleveland. First week of the season, I think the Bengals win, but I do like the Browns value plus the 5.5 with a veteran QB in Flacco. We've seen Flacco have previous success as a vet with the Browns a few years ago, leading them to the playoffs. This Browns team, not nearly as good. They're very likely going to only win 3 or 4 games, but there's always an extra energy in the stadium when it's week one. So I think this game will be close there. Another 1 o'clock game. It is Miami, the Dolphins with Tua Tagovailoa traveling to take on the Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis sitting 1.5 point favorites. Basically a pure pick 'em. You look at the ESPN FPI, 50.7% chance the home team, the Colts, win. Anthony Richardson not starting. It will be Daniel Jones starting for the Indianapolis Colts. I think the Dolphins have significantly more firepower. The Colts, yes, they're at home, and that does matter, especially week one of an NFL season. But I just think overall, the Dolphins are a little bit underrated and undervalued in this matchup. I will take them to win this game outright, 24-21. This is the type of game that could certainly go either way, as the analytics indicate, but I will be taking the Dolphins. Better quarterback play. They win this game on the road. Next, we've got another 1 o'clock game. It is the Raiders traveling to take on the Patriots, West Coast to East Coast. The Raiders sitting plus 2.5 in this one. A lot of hype surrounding the Patriots. They've got a young running back, Trevion Henderson. They've got the young second-year quarterback, Drake May. People expecting a breakout this season. When it comes to the Raiders, they do have Ashton Jeanty, the top 10 overall pick, the superstar from Boise State. I think this is going to be a tough game for the Raiders, West Coast to East Coast. The Patriots finally working their way through that rebuild, and they're only sitting minus 2.5 in this one. I will take the Patriots. Maybe a surprise. I wouldn't call it a blowout, but a little bit of a surprise 13-point win. Energized New England crowd. Finally, after a little bit of a rebuild, they've got their young quarterback. He's gotten a year under his belt. I think they win this game by around 13 points there. Another 1 o'clock game. It is Arizona traveling to New Orleans. Arizona sitting around 6.5-point favorites. New Orleans this year expected to be horrible. They've got Spencer Rattler starting. People saying they're tanking for Arch Manning or maybe another quarterback. They are expected to get the number 1 overall pick. But I do think with it being week 1, with New Orleans being at home, it's going to be an energized crowd. There's going to be, a little bit more optimism in the air. And I think New Orleans, surprisingly, this is one of those games where it's mid-third quarter and people are like, well, how is New Orleans winning? They're supposed to be terrible this year. It's the NFL. These teams, they all have significant talent, even the bad rosters, especially when they're at home with an energized crowd. And you've got Arizona, a team that was a disappointment last year, traveling West Coast to East Coast. I think Arizona wins this game. I don't think they cover that 6.5, 23-20. I could see, honestly, New Orleans winning this game outright, although their fans probably wouldn't like that because they very likely want the number 1 overall pick. But either way, I do think this will be maybe a little bit of a surprisingly close game there. Another 1 o'clock game. It is the Jets hosting the Steelers. You've got Aaron Rodgers on the Steelers now, so I guess maybe a revenge game for him, although I don't really know how much he cares about the Jets. He was only there for 2 years. He only played for 1. And then for the Jets, you've got Justin Fields coming from the Steelers, but I don't really know how much he cares about the Steelers. It's not like he played for them for many years. So this is just a weird dynamic. I think this is a lower scoring game. The Steelers trading away George Pickens. They don't have Russell Wilson anymore. Will Rodgers be good with the Steelers? I think he's washed, especially after watching him last year. The Jets, they're kind of underrated on offense. I don't know if Justin Fields is going to be all that good. Justin Fields does have immense rushing ability at the quarterback position, but you've also got Breece Hall, who's very good out of the backfield. Fields can complete some easy passes to him. And you've also got Garrett Wilson, who I think is an underrated receiver. I will take the Jets. Decent value plus the 2.5 at home to win this game outright. I just think Aaron Rodgers is, you could say, well, maybe he's got a little bit left in the tank. I don't know. I mean, this is like a 6 or a 7, maybe an 8-win season at the absolute most for the Steelers. And honestly, it's similar for the Jets. The Jets might be a worse team here, but they're at home. And I think their offense, at least the skill position players with Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, a little bit underrated. So I'll take the value on them plus the 2.5 there. Another 1 o'clock game. It is the New York Giants traveling to take on the Commanders. Russell Wilson now with the Giants. Jackson Dart, we'll have to see if he ends up playing this year, maybe later in the season, taking on Jaden Daniels, the young star quarterback who was phenomenal as a rookie. Washington sitting minus 6.5 in this game. Surprisingly close victory for the Commanders. They've got a good young team, but I think the vet and the Giants hang in there. They've got decent talent. You've got Malik Neighbors. The Giants surprise people. They hang in this game, and they only end up losing by 3. I was tempted to pick the Giants to win this game outright just because there is going to be a week 1 upset. We just don't know what it's going to be, but I will take the Commanders to win this game, maybe on a walk-off field goal, something of that nature there. Next, we've got the Jaguars hosting the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young, maybe some development last year, seemed to look decent towards the end of the season, but that offense, especially the skill position, they're very lacking, the Panthers are. And then you've got the Jaguars, kind of a disappointing last few years. People don't really know what to make of Trevor Lawrence. They did move up in the draft to draft Travis Hunter, the cornerback slash receiver. They've got Brian Thomas Jr. So they've got some skill position players now for Trevor Lawrence. I like the Jaguars to win this game and to cover that 3.5-point spread. I just don't like the Panthers offense at this point, even with Bryce Young and his developments his sophomore year. Give me the Jaguars to win this game and cover. It's an annoying 3.5-point spread, but I think they do cover at home. Moving on to the 4 o'clock games. We've got a 4:05 matchup. It is Cam Ward, the number 1 overall pick, making his NFL debut, traveling to Denver. Bo Nix trying to build off of his rookie season. Denver, heavy favorites in this one, -8, and I do like Denver to win this game and to cover the 8-point spread. It could be maybe a little bit of a tough ask with a young quarterback, but you're at home. That's a great home atmosphere in the Mile High City. I will take Denver to win this game. Cam Ward, you can't read too much into preseason, but he did not look great in preseason. Tough to go on the road week 1. I will take the Broncos to win this game. Maybe a little bit higher scoring, 28-17, and cover that 8-point spread there. We've got another 4:05 game. It is an in-division game matchup here. You do have the 49ers sitting -2.5 on the road in Seattle. I do like the value on the Seahawks plus the 2.5. I think they win this game outright. San Francisco was very streaky last year in Seattle, with this being week 1. I mean, you could honestly flip a coin. This is a very new look team in terms of the quarterback, in terms of just their overall situation. But I think Seattle at home week 1 in almost a pick'em game, they've got a slight advantage. They win this game 23-21 there. Moving on to the prime time. Well, I guess it's not a prime time, but this is the big 4:25 game. It is the Packers hosting the Lions. So the Lions coming off a very dominant 15-2 season. The Packers with Jordan Love, the young quarterback, sitting -2.5 in this one. The analytics do like Detroit slightly as 51-point favorites, basically a pure pick 'em. I do like Detroit to go on the road with Jared Goff and get this win. I've never been a huge believer in Jordan Love. I mean, he's a decent young quarterback, but I don't think he's a superstar or anything like that. Give me Detroit. Kind of some value here, plus the 2.5. Yes, it's on the road. Yes, it's a tough environment, but they were really good last year. You could say maybe the playoffs, a little bit of a letdown, but still an amazing regular season run they had, and I'll take them plus the 2.5 in a tough environment at Lambeau. The other 4:25 game, it is the Rams hosting the Houston Texans. So little AFC NFC matchup here. The Rams sitting -3.5, given a 56% chance to win. The Texans with CJ Stroud. I don't really have a great read for this game. I'll take the Rams, the home team, to win, but the Texans with a slight cover plus the 3.5 in that one. Moving on to the Sunday night game. It is the Ravens traveling to Buffalo. This is the final season at their old stadium for the Bills. Josh Allen coming off the MVP season. Lamar Jackson already a multiple-time MVP winner. It's a great matchup. Great Sunday night game. Buffalo sitting -1.5, given a 51% chance to win. I'm just going to go with the home team here. I'm going to go with the Bills 26-23. Fun Sunday night game to close out the first Sunday of the football season. Still wary on the overall offensive skill position players for the Bills. That's lacking, especially in comparison to what the Ravens have with Derrick Henry. But I do think because the Bills are at home, it's week 1, they do have a little bit of an advantage in this one. It is almost a pure toss-up. A lot of these games are the Bills sitting -1.5 and given a 51% chance to win. But I do think they are a very solid team, and being at home with Josh Allen, they get the job done there. And then moving on to the final game of week 1. Remember when they used to do double headers on week 1? They used to do the 7 o'clock game and then like the 10:30 game. Now they do double headers randomly through the season, and the first game starts at like 7:30 and the second game starts at like 9. And I don't know. I like when they did the double headers week 1 only, but there's no double header this year. It is the Vikings traveling to take on the Bears. This line surprises me. I think Chicago should be straight up 2.5 3-point favorites. I think Chicago wins this game. I've seen a lot of sharp money on to Chicago. Minnesota's got a very young quarterback traveling to a tough environment on a Monday night game. And you've got Caleb Williams, who now has more experience. Yes, it was a tough year last year, but they, to me, in a matchup like this is a surprise to me, and I will be taking Chicago to win that game outright plus the 1.5. So guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you like the video down below. Also follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.